Good morning. This is Bharat. I'm making a video after a long time, and this is about making a website in 10 days or so. I wouldn't give you a precise number, but you can manage it in 10 days. A fully functional website that lets you communicate with the client user and user in all sorts of fully functional ways. We're looking at dynamic websites, and we're looking at applications like quizzes, let's say. I don't want to get into the CSS part. You can definitely use CSS. You can use third-party libraries, and you can make it easier for yourself. But that is not the aim of this. So the first thing and the first and foremost thing I want to tell you is that this is not about artificial intelligence. It's not about any of the resources available that tell you to click buttons and get your code ready to kind of deploy on a server, maybe. So I'm going to be using a lot of vocabulary which you may be totally unaware of. So I'll just make a list out of that. So server, client, end user. So many things I've already used, right? And request. This is a particular kind of jargon. You might have heard of jargon. In context. That's what you're looking at. Context. Okay. So I'll just get started because I don't have time and I don't want to spend too much time on this. And I want it to be like 30 minutes, 40 minutes if I can manage it. Okay. Let's hope it is only so much time that I spend on it. Server, computer, that small, big, tiny, any adjective whatsoever. Small, tiny, behemoth, doesn't matter. Behemoth is behemoth, whatever it is, a big machine with lots of transformer style customizability, and you have GPUs, right? And GPUs and all sorts of compute power, compute instances. Again, I think I have from the entire server technology that's available to you. Deploy, right? Deployment. So server, putting your application software on the server. Client is your human being. I hope animals don't use this in the internet, but yeah, websites they'll probably make them do so after a short period of time. But let's not get into that. Your human being sitting at the screen. It can be mobile or desktop or whatever. Anything you can imagine being a screen. It can be a pager. It can be anything. It can be a GLCD, graphical liquid crystal display. End user. This is your human being. Client is your. So I should probably put it here. End user. You have your client. So that'll be your user agent in the headers. So I'm introducing more and more vocabulary. Headers. Okay, adding Django app. Let me check. Yes, so I saved this file, and I did not want information to divulge. So sorry about the break. You will experience no break actually. But client is your user agent, and the headers user agent is your browser. Browser you can be browsers are Vivaldi, which is the one I'm recording here, screen recording here using OBS Studio. OBS Studio. See, I would give you a dictionary instead of giving you a leaf out of my book. So that's my approach. Maybe not the best of business models, but that's how it is. Google Chrome, Firefox, Opera. Read about it. Read about it. About all of these before using them. You have others such as Brave, and you have Tor, and there must be others, lots of them. Then there are headless browsers, CLI based browsers, so text only web browsing, right? Then there is SSH, then there is database querying. I could say that internet browsing is simply database querying on a very different scale, and in a very complex kind of jungle of databases, things like that. Environment. I'll just use environment. I'm used to using short names because it's a lot to type, and I'm not a fan of typing. So typing, that is the only skill you need. Only really a skill you need. 50 words per minute is recommended to make things work fast enough. Now, what's fast enough? What's fast enough? Quarters. So anyway, yeah. Coming back to the browser, we have Stack Overflow. You have resources. That is what you're looking at. Stack Exchange, which has superset of Stack Overflow. Please ignore any typos, typing errors. Stack Overflow is basically Q&A. Stack Overflow job survey error AI Python login Stack Exchange versus Stack Overflow and C, meaning great. So you see you have Q&A there. Q&A. So people post questions of all sorts. They post questions about how to learn Python, and they post questions about what is PSD DB3, and how do I get past errors I'm facing using this particular piece of software. It can be Ansible for AWS. You might know these things, you might not know these things. All I'm doing is giving you a lot of words, vocabulary, and that, among other things, probably look cool and dapper and all sorts of adjectives that at least I'm not interested in. So let's have a look at Python. So Python is an interpreted. This is something that you'll come across again and again if you don't use a regular browser. If you use in private browsing. So in private browsing. So I've used AWS, I've used Ansible, there is Terraform, there's there's so many things, so many things. So how much will you go through in a given time? Okay, so Python is an interpreted interactive object-oriented using classes, dynamic and strongly typed programming language that is used for a wide range of applications. Sign up to watch this tag and see more personalized content. Okay, great. So the idea is that you want to be asking questions about the thing you're facing. You don't want to waste time signing up or AI Assist or any of the many so many options available out there. Don't waste your time. That's the only thing I want to say. So 10-day website design schedule. Let's call it. So first day one, overview from a systems perspective. Now, when I say systems perspective, what do I know about it? What do I mean? So systems perspective. See, this is another search engine. I mean, other than Google and the other ones out there, you can find out about it. Systems theory using systems perspectives in evidence synthesis, systems perspectives. What is the systems approach? Systems engineering. What I like is this diagram here. Nice. Didn't want that. Didn't want that. Okay, fine. Mm, so systems engineering, it was a sponsored ad. I wanted this. Yeah. So what I like is this diagram here. And what I want to emphasize is that you can learn a lot from diagrams. It's not a diagram. It's an image that has it's a collection of it. Maybe a particular word for it. I don't think it's properly called a collage, but yeah, you have a collection of images, and what you're looking at is images of all descriptions. So systems engineering is about block diagrams, and you want to be focusing on that. So here's your block. Block. So block a website in a block diagram or a set of these of block diagrams, right? Diagrams, right? So block. BLCK. Okay, great. BLCK. BLCK stands for a block. Okay. So abbreviations, BLCK, BLOCK. Okay. So block, I'll call it a block. You can define your day 0. You can write your own programming language, and that's a different topic. That's a different topic. So day 1, block. I'm using variables the way I want them. That's something you can do anytime. You don't have to consult Stack Overflow or any entity in the universe to do that. Okay, so BLCK is a block, and what we are looking at is we are defining blocks. So block. Oh, okay. Block. Block. Yeah, right. Block. So we'll have so many blocks, and we'll have eventually there'll be an interconnection of these entities, an interconnection of these things. Let's call them things. Entities sounds very learned, and learning is good but show off is better, I guess. So yeah, that's a witticism. Witticism. Yeah. So you can take it down if you want it. So if you want, yeah. So a block is where do I start? I start with client side, um, what the end user sees. HTML, pretty HTML, pretty buttons, and graphics, and lots of things. So the best of websites have these beautiful graphics. Um, Websites, Google websites with great UX UI 2025. Best UI design inspiration websites for 2025. Reddit is also a great resource, by the way. Reddit, Reddit. Reddit. Top 20 UX designer profile portfolio websites. Best UX UI inspiration sites. Best UX UI design tools in 25. See, UX UI design tools. So 25 web design trends to watch in 2025. Macro animations, cause animation. So this is something you want to look at if you're. So it's called stock taking. Stock taking. What do you do on day one? Day one, stock taking. Stock taking. Right. Get inspired. It says now. It's a completely individual thing. What you think about aesthetics and inspiration, and I would like to bypass all of that. So this is a resource, and you can use it to look at what's possible. Right now, you could do all of that, but I'll be focusing on functionality. So client side again, JavaScript is JS. Okay, so I'll write it once. JavaScript, JS, and you have in JS you have what do you have? You have fetch request, fetch API. That's what they call them. MDN, Mozilla Developer Network. So many, so many new words, right? So I'll just post it on the website, thelanguagefellow.com, as maybe as resources to web things for professionally. Okay, PDF maybe after I'm done with this video. So stock taking. One example is something I've already given you. Okay, my advice would be that you shouldn't be worried about this for the time being. Go for functionality, go for fetch, go for basic data transport. So there is this OSI model transport layer. Network tab. That's what you want. See, I'm using the word block to write all sorts of things there. I We can rearrange this, and we don't have to be very hard and fast about what a block means. I'm using it very flexibly for the time being. OSI model. What's the OSI model? OSI model. So let's check any of them. It doesn't matter. Application management, supply network services to apps, data representation, sessions management. Okay, it was in 2000XX. I looked at this first, and this is something I can tell you about only sparingly. I apologize. Data link, MAC, MAC address, physical addressing. So what I do know about is MAC spoofing. So now, what do I know about MAC spoofing? So the idea is that you want to change your MAC address. MAC address is something that uniquely identifies your device because you want to know who's on your network, what's on your network when you have a network to look at, manage, monitor, whatever it is. Changing factories and media access control address of a network interface on a networked device. Hard coded on a network interface in controller and cannot be changed. Make an operating system believe that the NIC has a MAC address the user is choosing. Process make masking as known as MAC spoofing entails changing a computer's identity for any reason. That is the idea. Nice, good words chosen for the purpose. Believe, make an operating system believe, metaphorical, right? Changing a computer's identity. This is more literal, and this gives you the idea. So you want to look at data link layer for HTTP. That's where I'm getting at. HTTP, and we can talk about HTTPS, but that's not so important. S for secure. That's security. Stock taking is okay. So overview. And day one. Yeah. So it should probably include all of this here. Security. Now I said UX UI. What's UX UI? User interface, user interaction. UX UI. Security. Secure socket layer, SSL. Data link layer, layer 2 in the TCP/IP based network layer. Layer 2 is the data link layer. This layer is also called simply the link layer. See, implementation details can be found in various documents throughout the internet and trade texts. So, what I gather from here is that the implementation details can change. Point being, you are looking at modular design. Okay, that is what I want to give you. Modular design, where you want to think about application development and you want to think about data transport among many other things. So, for example, application development. My quiz on the client's browser client works. So, shows answers, goes to the next question. Ba, ba, boo, boo, and you can go. Okay, ad infinitum. Data transport. The end user must not be able to see in the network tab my JSON data fetched. I'm using fetched, right? Using the fetch API in JavaScript. So I'm touching on these things. I'm not even going into the details, but the point being, that is what your overview will look like. You want to look at which parts are the most, which blocks are the most, which blogs and reels you want to tinker in these 10 days. Okay. Yeah. So much for the formatting. Okay. Yes. One thing I guess is IP address and domain name, and I should probably write those things as well. IP address, domain name. So domain name is example.com or subdomain name.example.com or gov dot utopia. I don't know. Utopia is a certain political inclination. I don't want to get into those things, so I don't know. Gov dot political entity, right? And so on. So it could be gov, it could be www.gov, it doesn't matter. Both options are so www has become old-fashioned. That's how I could see it. So IP address, what you're looking at is 0.0.0.0. What you're looking at is 127.0.0.1, or what you're looking at is 192 dot anything, 194 dot something. I'm giving you just a random example. I do not have any particular entity in my mind. These are special cases. Okay, so IP addresses are reserved, and IP address ranges are reserved, and you want to be careful with these things. You're looking at all the here in this video. I'm telling you about all the crucial stuff. I'm not even talking about the UX UI or 50 websites that appeal you aesthetically so much so that you spend so much time on them that you forget about making a website in 10 days, for example, right? So let's get back to this modular design. OSI model is an example of modular design. I could say that. I don't know. I'm just making it up. Okay. And you are absolutely entitled to make it up. That's what I did with VLCK, right? You don't have to, again, even think about it for a nanosecond or picosecond or whatever it is these days. OSI model application high level protocols as for resource sharing or remote file access, for example, HTTP. So resource sharing, HTML files is one example of this, one class of resource sharing, one type of resource. Images, another type of resource. So for example, the language, okay, the Guardian, the languagefellow.com. Yeah, great. So the languagefellow.com, this that you can see is text as formatted by HTML, hypertext markup language, right? And then you have resources in the form of other media types, PDF and video file, and then there are images, downloads, cat images. Okay, so this cat is from the smiling cat is from Alice in Wonderland. Okay, so that's resource sharing. One thing you must know about this is FTP. FTP is FTP, UDP. These abbreviations. It's up to what you want out of your application. You want to use HTTP. Uh, out at the start, when you're just wishing to wanting to come up with a website in 10 days, you want to be using HTTP instead of other protocols. FTP is a file transfer protocol, and there are certain reasons why you'd use one over the other. You don't want to get into all the nitty gritty of it. And that's why we have again an overview on day one, stock taking and things like that. Okay, so hypertext transfer protocol, I guess that's what the again I don't so how important is it to know the abbreviations? It is highly important to know these abbreviations, but then there is so much to know. You would wonder if you keep on revising all the time. Hypertext transfer protocol, HTTP wiki, you can read about it. Yeah, that's what it is. Thankfully, I know what it is. I remember it perfectly well. So, Internet Protocol Suite model for distributed collaborative hypermedia information systems. Information system is what you want to gather from here. That's all. That's all there is to it. I wouldn't be worried about HTTP as I would be interested in knowing information systems. So, systems engineering, systems thinking, systems perspective, whatever it is. I've already said that, right? So much of information transfer in the past 30 minutes or so, right? In the past 30 minutes or so, right? You want to be, you don't want to be thinking about all sorts of things you can think about, because that's a waste of time. So, coming back to this, your overview includes what your website is going to look like. Is it going to be something like charcoal black, as it is here? It's a particular color I chose. So, charcoal black was the one. Developer tools, validate, view page source, inspect, nav, bar, div, container, nav. Nav is for navigation. This is the address I've given, so go to this address and get me this HTML or whatever else it is on that page, right? So this is the entire navigation bar, and I'm looking at a particular color. What I'm looking for is particular colors. I'll have to go to CSS. So sources, elements, console, sources. Console is your command line interface. Console is your terminal. That's where it's coming from. So flexbox, index, messages, toggle, lamp bar, flexbox. So here I'll have to find the color of this HTML element. Okay, I would recommend you to do this last. Really, yeah. Yeah, let's not get into this at the moment, but that's what you're looking at. If you're able to observe, you have three things: CSS, JS, and HTML. Fonts, it's the least of our concern. Just take Courier New. That's the best font you can have. It's not. You can take Times New Roman. If you're required to take a particular font, go for that. I mean, you can't fight over this kind of thing, right? What a waste of time way. So, into fonts, JS and CSS, and you have HTML. HTML, the entire thing is an HTML document. This is where you have it. Doc type HTML. This is how you declare an HTML document. That's convention. if you don't use that convention, you will not be able to define, you will not be able to write an HTML document. Again, this goes back to write your own programming language. So that's not what we are doing at the moment, right? Mm, yeah. Okay. So HTML will have different parts, and this lets me write HTML, CSS, and JS. Okay. So these three together give you the technology stack. Tech stack is what they call it. I'm prone to using these things because well, what can you do about these things? Technology stack. So that's very much part of your overview. HTML, CSS, JS. They'd say you don't want this if you want to be getting a job or something. Yeah, that's probably true. So what you do want is getting work, Angular, React, Vue, JS, Node.js. There's so much. Okay, so Django. I'll come to all of this in a moment. So I should probably so many names. Django, Flask. Then I've already mentioned AWS and things like that. So that's for later. But we are going to be using HTML, Java, and CSS for this one. Okay. So there's so much. I mean, you can look it up. I don't want to be talking about this, but this is the stack we are going to be using: HTML, JS, and CSS. That's the basics. That's the fundamental, the most the fundamentals on which you have Angular, React, and things like that built. So you have TypeScript, and you have all sorts of names that you don't want to bother with unless you want to get into that. So technology stack. So let's see what we've done so far. The purpose is that, by the way, reminds me purposeless melody of something about Othello, I guess. Purposeless melody, whatever it is. Othello critic. Somebody said that. Okay. Iago. See, that's how this search engine works. It doesn't give me anything here. Yeah, it does come up with something, but yeah. Motiveless melody. So you have a question on this motiveless melody on the UGC net, CF. You can do that later. Okay, but sorry for the digression. Motiveless melody. Criticism of Iago's character from. So that's UGC net. Okay. You are so yeah. You can try a practice paper. That's so much for advertisement. No more advertisement from my side. So what's the purpose? You are looking at which parts matter. So when you are looking at a building, for example, building. I'll give you an analogy. Building. GLE building key areas to secure. Okay. maybe this private access or to each key block, video camera surveillance throughout property, perimeter defense, data center cabinet, data center room. So this is a data center secured. So that's a kind of a layout how you'd go about this thing. Armed security in building 24/7, 365, multi-factor ID for building access, and so on. So that is an analogy. You will have to take care of security, and that comes under a different heading. You won't have so much time in 10 days to do all of these things. Okay, so security involves SSL comes after you have DNS, after you have domain, after you deploy and buy a domain name. So that's the last. Okay, that's the last stage of the entire process. So SSL is not what we want to be discussing, but you want to be looking at obfuscation. Obfuscation. See this data transport. It's related to this actually. Okay, so I'm not going into the details. I'm not giving you things that may be identifiable, that may tell you important things about what I know or don't know. But obfuscation is something you come across in JS, JavaScript file. You want to protect it because you don't want people to tinker with it. So I'll give you an example. Again, developer tools, inspect. As you can see, you have where the image is coming from. Maybe a content delivery network, maybe another website, maybe a simple server that's serving static content. Static content is content that remains same over time or actions and so on. So I've said this in a reel on Instagram, I guess. But static content is you have those files, you just want to transfer those files to the client. JS name HT9TDT. Now you could have all sorts of codes for these, or you could have these codes masked, and that's ideal security. You don't want the reader to be able to get your codes either. Where is the JS sources? I go to sources. I go to wow, images, favicon, font. Yeah, see how big a project this is. WP content, so probably a WordPress hosted website, articles, smart security, open file, top images. Okay, can't see JS, right? Can't see any JavaScript content here. That's what I wanted to give you, but see, this is a tag that I don't know about. Maybe they've come up with their own tag. It's definitely something that can be done. Data. Okay, I can't find here what I wanted to show you, but the idea is that you are looking at JavaScript that's mangled so that you can't read it. Okay, yeah, script, and it's using nonce. So nonce is an identifier that you use for single use. That's it. That is the idea, and you have to configure your website accordingly. So function you start this. So they don't have it obfuscated. Let's say you want to obfuscate this. What you do is go to a new tab, obfuscate my.js. Java Scrambler deobfuscating. See, you have obfuscating, you have deobfuscating, you have encoding, you have decoding, you have encryption, you have decryption. So inverse process. The word is inverse in math. So you're looking at mathematics essentially. The root of it is mathematics. Obfuscator, powerful obfuscator for JavaScript and Node.js. GitHub is the place. GitHub is the haunt, like Stack Overflow is, and only true open source JavaScript obfuscate. There is a need of a new. I don't know what that is. First, military grade online obfuscator. Okay, you should not be attracted to it just because it says military grade. Okay, military grade is stuff that is not even public, I guess, because if someone knows about the technology, you can tinker over there and things like that. So, see, that is what you do. You, for example, you have something called dead code injection, right? You can go through any of these resources. I'm just giving you an outline. So, obfuscation is a security concern. It's a concern in security, whatever the English is. Okay, obfuscation. Great. So I've used so much vocabulary now. I've used so many things that you'd say this is advanced subject, or I don't know. Maybe I'm assuming a lot on your part. It doesn't matter. It's just words used to talk about things that you already know about. Given that you have conceptual understanding, understand. Okay, so I planned differently. I have been very slow. Yeah, so I suppose what you mean by my saying I've been very slow, because I could have said other things and given you a kind of timeline of how you'd go about making a website. And okay, this is not something we want to be looking at. We want to be looking at block diagrams, and block diagrams is all there is to it. That is how you. That is how you block diagram. For example, Xilinx. Okay, that's all you need. Yeah. So if you can do this, if you can reason like this, that's enough. Okay, that's enough. Yeah, I wouldn't say you can reason like this. This is even more abstract. There's nothing here, right? But you should be able to reason using this and this. Okay, that kind of thing. I'm assuming that do know what these things stand for. The details don't matter. What the shape means, what the uh, symbols mean. That is, it's a matter of dictionary lookup, right? So don't get amazed by these things. You should be amazed by certain classes of things, not these things, right? Yeah. So it's clear enough if you can work your way around these things. Yeah, so back to systems perspective engineering, where I start, because I have spent about 40 to 50 minutes doing this, and I want you to go through, for example, the diagram on the right center. It's a diagram of no, it's not a diagram of, it's not an ERD, entity relationship diagram, and that is something that lets me write here database and files slower, databases faster, types of databases faster for certain purposes, etc. Okay, now what is slow? That is the question. What's slower in context? For a 10-day project, you don't even need to think about databases, but databases are essential things in context. Okay, I'm just using in the given context, so I want to keep it short. So I'll continue this in the next video, and I'll tell you about the implementation right to the last detail. This is a start. I think it is a comprehensive start, and let's go through this in more upcoming videos. It's a nice exercise I find for myself. Thank you.